Okay. Alright, sorry. That was extremely unpleasant. I could not stream to the live stream that I had scheduled and set up. And then I realized that I couldn't stream to that one, but I could create a new stream, so that's what I did. Theoretically, I should be live on Twitch right now, and I might be live on DLive. I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to look over there and tell me, but I've got them all on. Except, wait a minute. It's already got a problem. Dropped frames? Why? How? Everything's going wrong. Sorry, yeah, I don't know what that problem was, but that was not something I'd like to repeat, for sure. Good thing you looked at the chat of the old one. Yeah, I tried to post a link there so everyone could come over, and then I just deleted the live stream, so it should be deleted at this point. I have Twitch? Yes, I do. There's a link in the description if you'd like to look. So, okay, yeah, today's just going to be a quick scary story reading stream. I'm a little bit sick. I'm on the mend, though. I should be able to go back to streaming tomorrow. But I just wanted a quick, 20-minute stream. But it turned into a big problem trying to get things set up. Huh. Okay, that was super unpleasant. Oh, before I start, I will say that our own Dragnov has gone ahead and set up a channel where he just cuts me reading the stories out of the streams and posts them kind of like as a highlight thing on his channel. I believe it is Deep Blue Sea Salt. I've got a link in the description down below. So if you just want a straight up playlist of me reading the stories with the beginning and ends of the streams of just, chatting cut out, that's going to be the place to look. Okay. What's your favorite meme? There's so many. There's a few golden oldies that never died for me, so I can't think of it right now, though I'm in a panic. Yeah, Deep Blue Sea Salt. On DLive, it seems not to work. Okay, well, I can't ever seem to get DLive to stream or to work. At least not multi-streaming. Maybe I'll have to do a few test streams just trying to get it to work in the future, but oh well, screw DLive. We are just on Twitch and YouTube today. Okay, and we also have a new prop. We have a nice new leather book that was drawn for us by Thendriks, I believe. Let me have a look just to make sure I'm not butchering the name. Yeah, Thendriks. So do enjoy that. All right, let me go ahead. DLive never works through Restream? Okay, so I'm not the only one having that problem. Well, good, I guess. Okay, so for today's book... I'm not receiving... it's still having streaming issues. Why? How? Dropped frames? Oh, it's just not a good day for streaming, huh? It's just not a good day for streaming, apparently. How does it look for you guys? I was about to switch over to the actual reading thing, but it seems like there's issues. I don't know, it's just like everything's going wrong today. Did you forget to change your provider? What? Again? I don't know what that means, sorry. Okay, well, either way, we are... just gotta push forward. It's just supposed to be a quick thing anyway, so I don't know why it's giving me a hard time. Is it me, or does YouTube chat not show on the stream? YouTube chat should show on the stream, and sometimes I'll have an icon of looks fine here. Yeah, I'm seeing YouTube and Twitch. You know what? Actually, there's something I might be able to do there. Okay, I just refreshed it. I don't know. Okay, you know, that is weird. Okay, yeah, okay, so it's working, I just refreshed it real quick, so okay, I'm just taking way too long worrying about this. Nothing I can do, we're just gonna push forward. I'm not sure what the issues are, I'll have to look into that, but I can't do that live, unfortunately. Okay, alright, I guess we'll... Show us a new book. Yep, okay, yeah, time to just get into that. Okay, and I am slightly cut off. That ain't cool. Let me adjust that in VTube Studio, I suppose. Nope, worse. Better. Okay. Yeah, We'll just put that down, I think. All right. Although, I could definitely... I'm off center. That's gonna bug me. 1 second. Just 1 second. Better? Yeah, better. Okay. Yeah, so this is the new book. You're not gonna be able to see too much of it because it's naturally gonna be below, but I think it looks pretty nice. And that is, again, a resource by Thendriks, who is on the Discord and put it in creative and let me know. So, very cool. Who or what got you into VTubing? I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just thought, I don't have a face. VTubing is taking off. Maybe I should have a mascot. So, here we are. I guess maybe it was hearing about the Pokemon backlash is what it was, maybe. And I was like, Oh yeah, apparently looking down at a certain angle, it'll lose tracking of my eyes and it will close my eyes. So that's why I'm not streaming with glasses on this stream. They can come back for another stream, but for this stream, they're just gonna be gone. Okay. Let's see. You need to switch to TV, need a bigger mirror. If you say so, man, if you say so. I don't know if it's a good idea, but okay. All right. So here's okay, I'm looking at the book right now. I think it's not losing tracking of my eyes, but I can't tell because as soon as I look up to check it, my eyes move. We'll figure it out. We'll see. Okay. Let's see. So, for today's book, we have... What do we have? Small Horrors. And it's kind of an anthology, so it's got a bunch of different readers, or writers, I should say. So, here's the selection we have. We've got... What do we have here? Hazard Lights, Surf, and Great Aunt Enid. So Hazard Lights, Surf, and Great Aunt Enid are the choices. Go ahead and let me know which one you want to hear first. And if it's really short, like only 5 minutes, we'll do another one too. And I have not pre-read any of these, so don't know what we're getting into there. Let's see. It's tracking the eyes fine. That's good. Alright, I'm seeing Surf. Great Aunt Enid. Surf for our pal Ulron. Alright, looks like Surf is beating it out. You thought the stream was cancelled. It was. That previous one, I couldn't get it to connect to Streamlabs. I just had to create a whole new event and hopefully hope that people would follow the link in the description, or not the description, in the chat over here. So I'm glad you're here, Lestat. Okay, it's a tie-up between Surf and Great Aunt Enid. So we'll do Surf, and if it's really short, we'll go to Great Aunt Enid. Okay. Let's see. Just realized the gem is an eye. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Sometimes you just gotta turn it off and on again. I couldn't even salvage that. I just had to make a brand new stream. So, okay, Surf. I'm using a ebook reading app, so it's a little bit more troublesome to find because I can't just click it. I actually have to scroll through it like a real book. Okay. Here we go. Marina let the fire... Oh, wait, hang on. Let me put the credits to the music I'm using. There we go. Okay. Cool. I forgot that last time, and I'm glad I remembered. All right. Here we go. Surf. Marina... Oh, and I won't be able to really address any super chats. I'll have to save them to the end and then read them, so I don't break up the reading. One day I'll have to make that eye gem for Etsy. Maybe. No glasses this time? I need to look to see how my eyes track, because last time I noticed they were closing a bit because it was losing tracking of my eyes. I've shifted the position of the book for this reading, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, and ignore my stomach grumbling, sorry. Alright, Surf. Marina let the fire burn patterns into her vision as her long, thin hair created curtains to hide her face. Her 5 friends, spaced around the seaside fire pit, had all become chattier as the alcohol hit them, but drink only ever made Marina quieter and more self-conscious. She was happy to let the conversation flow over her as she tuned out the individual words. Todd pushed away from the sand where he'd been lying on his belly, His curly hair flopped around his face, reminding Marina of a shaggy dog, and she dipped her head a little farther to hide her smile. I'm gonna catch a couple more waves. His voice was faintly slurred, but if the beer had affected his coordination, it was impossible to tell it apart from his regular ungainliness. He stumbled toward the row of surfboards propped in the sand. Who's coming? Stay by the fire, said Elena, the self-appointed mother of the group. Don't drink and drive a surfboard, boy. He cackled a laugh and turned to Marina. You want to come? I'll teach you. She mutely shook her head, so he shrugged and began jogging towards the ocean. A second later, his best friend James also leapt out of the sand and grabbed his own surfboard. Oi, wait up! Elena snorted and nudged Marina with an elbow. Todd likes you, you know. That's the 4th time he's asked you to join him today. I don't like the ocean, Marina mumbled, hoping that would be enough to shut down the discussion. Elena looked as if she wanted to talk more, but at that moment, Laurie dropped her beer can into the fire, and the cries and laughter served as a distraction. Marina sat for a moment more, watching the flickering flames, then excused herself and rose. Sorry. She hadn't been drunk in a long time, and the alcohol was affecting her more than she'd expected. She went as far as the ocean's edge, then began walking parallel to the surf, hoping the cool wind and exercise would sober her. To her right, Todd and James were paddling down towards a swell in the waves. The shore was far enough from town that the tourists didn't often go there, and its pristine sand was littered with colorful shells. Marina bent to pick some up, a half-formed idea of turning them into a necklace hovering in the back of her mind. She'd only collected a handful when she saw something that didn't belong on the beach. Her first thought was that it was a piece of coral. It was thin and only a few inches long, but the color didn't match anything that she would have expected to find in the sand. The waves lapped at it, and as it rolled, she saw its fingernail. Marina opened her mouth to scream, but only a thin whine came out. She dropped the shells, glanced towards the fire, towards the ocean, then back down at the severed human finger, drifting in the surf. Let's see. Is it closing again? The eyes are losing track, is it? Okay, then thanks for letting me know. I need to shift the book up then in that case. Okay. So it's much higher now. Hopefully it won't get in the way of the camera, because the problem is I have to have the camera right here, and then I have to have the book right here. So it's kind of a delicate thing. I'll move it up higher. Thanks for telling me. The alcohol was clogging her ability to reason, so she did the only thing she could think of. She reached forward, hesitated, then picked up the digit between two of her own fingers, holding it away from herself as she hurried back to the fire. The 3 who had remained there were all laughing at something Laurie had said, but Elena's smile vanished as Marina held the finger toward her. Mar, what the hell? I found it, Marina said helplessly, dropping it on the sand beside the fire. In the water. Laurie gaped at her. And you picked it up? I didn't know what else to do. Hang on. Elena had her palms pressed to her temple, her earlier intoxicated glow gone. Calm down. We need to figure out what to do. Did you see any other body parts? Marina's horrified glare was all the answer Elena needed. She squeezed her eyes closed and scratched at her scalp. Okay, so maybe this happened in an accident, or maybe it's from something worse. It's fresh. Peta pointed towards the severed edge. Look, it's still red. It hasn't started to decay yet. It's probably from today, or maybe a few hours old. Elena's fingers were still scratching restlessly. Okay. Who has a phone? We need to call the police. I do. Peta flipped over to dig through her bag. Great. We'll call the police, and... Her attention turned towards the water, where Todd and James were surfing. You think they're in danger? Laurie asked. Well, fingers don't just drop off, do they? Elena snapped. She stood, dusted sand off her shorts, then jogged toward the water's edge. Marina followed. She'd heard there were sharks in the area, although that they normally didn't come into the Crescent Beach. Once the idea had been suggested, it was impossible to forget. Oi! Elena screamed across the waves. Todd! James! The boys were a long way out, straddling their surfboards and facing the horizon. They didn't respond to the calls. Elena swore. Come back! Marina, feeling the first string of panic, screamed so loudly her voice cracked. Todd! They can't hear us. Elena was running her fingers through her hair again and shivering, despite the warm night. Crap, they shouldn't have gone out so late, and they're drunk. Laurie shoved between them, dragging her own surfboard towards the waves. I'll get them back. Crap, no, Laurie. Elena's objections fell on deaf ears. Laurie waded out as far as she could, then leapt onto the board and began paddling. Marina squeezed her hands together, watching her friend set a course towards the waves as Elena paced beside her. It's probably fine, Marina said, but her voice sounded faint in her own ears. Like you said, it was probably an accident or something. Peeta's still on the phone. Elena folded her arms and shifted onto her toes to watch Larry's board. Then she turned abruptly. I'll go see what they're saying. Marina stayed by the ocean's edge, her eyes glued on the three figures bobbing in and out of view on the swell. Part of her was starting to wish she'd left the finger on the shore. It had caused much panic, and probably for nothing. How's the eye looking? Alright, I'm not seeing anybody say that it's lost tracking, so that's good. Your favorite VTuber? That's nice, thank you. It had caused much panic and probably for nothing. She was sure there were 100 ways someone could lose a finger. It didn't have to be sharks. The two boys looked around as Laurie neared them, and all three turned their surfboards back towards the beach. Marina began to breathe properly again. It would only take them a minute to reach shore, and then there would be nothing to worry about. She twisted towards the fire pit to call out the good news, but it was vacant. Frowning, she moved cautiously towards it, trying to pick out either Elena or Peeta in the dim light. Their bags, their bottles, and the packets of chips sat where they'd been left. Even the severed finger lay near the fire, its nail picking up a glimmer of light from the flames. But her friends were gone. In their place were 5 small drops of blood quivering in the sand. Marina dashed into the ocean. She was waist deep when Todd, the nearest, reached her. "Pull me up!" She grabbed for his arm, begging to be led onto his board. "It's the beach that's dangerous, not the water. Pull me up." And that is surf. So that was pretty spooky. Let's see. Eyes looking good. Good. All right. How does the eye work? From what I understand, I believe it is tracking off of the right or left eye, I think. So yeah, that one was pretty short. Actually, I'm a little shaky. I'm still a bit sick. That's why I haven't been uploading too recently. So maybe I should call it quits there. How long is this one? Oh! Actually, this one might be very short. Okay, tell you what, let me get a drink of water and we might be able to do one more. It's Those That Live in the Woods. And again, if you like the book, that would be by Thendriks, who is on the Discord. He posted this in creative. Very cool. He also made another image, which I personally think he should sell as a sticker. I'd buy it. But I don't have that set up to show on stream just right now. Everything has been kind of a mess to get working. Did you make your avatar? No. Well, I mean, I made the concept art for the most part, but then I got it kind of refined and more professional concept art by Gosh, you know what? I've got the credits in the descriptions. And then the art was done by Goth Lunical, who I also link in the credits, and then rigged for 2D motion by Rainley. So if you're interested, have a look at their other art. They're very talented. So yeah, let me send you some Perrier bottles I brought. Yeah, I should get some bubbly water. I think I'm dehydrated, to be honest. You don't get it? What happened? Whatever was happening in the sand, not in the water like they had thought. So, okay, let me just take a quick break here. Yeah, I'll get some water, and in 1 minute, we'll go ahead and move on to those who live in the woods. I think. Let me have a quick read over it. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Yeah, everything looks good. So give me a minute to get some more water, and then we'll move forward. Okay, that should do it. You believe there's a really bad movie about killing sand? Really? Or getting killed by stepping on the beach? That's pretty interesting, or something that lurks in the sand. I've always liked that idea. Kind of like Tremors, I guess. Maybe that's why. Okay, alright. Yeah, we'll go ahead and read one more story, then wrap this up. Sorry, I don't have the energy I usually do. Okay. And there we go. Perfect. And if you like, if you want to, hear other scary story streams that I've read, please go to Deep Blue Sea Salt. That is linked in the description. It's managed by our own Dragnov, and it's basically the stories cut, with all my little blabbing cut out of it. So if you want it in a more streamlined, kind of like narrative story approach, go have a look at his channel. He's put them in really nice, easy to consume videos. Take some rest after the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm weirdly winded. Okay. Here we go. Those who live in the woods. Tessa flipped her sleeping bag out of its holder and laid it beside Karen's. They had only a 2-person tent, with barely enough room for their bags. Once Fel arrived, they would be like sardines in a tin. Not that she minded. They'd been through worse on their annual long weekend camping adventures, including one trip where their tent had been blown away and they'd had to sleep outdoors for 2 nights before making it back to civilization. She poked her head out of the tent to see Karen sitting beside the fire, turning sausages on the skillet. "How are they doing?" "Just about there." Karen was leaning so close to the flame that the flickering light seemed to make her face glow. She had the excited, almost manic smile she always wore whenever they started on their hikes. Even though the car park was only 20 meters behind them, she was glad to be amongst nature again. Should be done by the time Fel gets here. Tessa checked her watch. She really should have been here by now. Unless her boss made her stay late. That guy's a jerk. Oh, he totally is. Karen opened her mouth to say something more, but fell silent when she heard what sounded like squealing tires in the distance. "You don't think that's..." The screeching stopped abruptly, but then, a moment later, she heard what sounded like breaking glass. I tried to change that discreetly. Didn't work. I need to find a way to maybe shift the music in a more, less abrupt way. Oh well. Spooky music. It's getting spooky. Let's see. The screeching stopped abruptly, but then, a moment later, she heard what sounded like breaking glass. Karen dropped her fork and rose. They both faced towards the parking lot, which was hidden by the forest and the darkness. The 2 friends glanced at each other, then Karen said, "I'll go check it out." Want me to come? Nah. Karen grabbed the flashlight from where Tessa had left it beside the tent and switched it on. I'll be back in a moment. Watch the sausages. Tessa poked at the splitting sausage skins as she listened to her friend march through the forest. The torch's light faded before the sound of her footsteps did. Then Karen started calling. Fel? 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 The night air was cooling rapidly, and Tessa snuggled closer to the fire as she waited. The logs, not quite dry enough for a calm blaze, spat and hissed as sap was cooked out of them. Karen had fallen quiet, which Tessa assumed meant she'd either found Fel or had given up. The sounds of the woods were magnified in her friend's absence. Tessa gazed at the trees as the isolation started to bite at her. The trunks, dark and rough, stretched high above their camping ground, the leaves blocking out almost all the stars. She felt as though she had been transported to another dimension, one without other humans. She hated the idea. Karen should be back by now, shouldn't she? Tessa checked her watch. Nearly 15 minutes had passed since her friend had left. The parking lot was nowhere near far enough away for the trip to take that long. Tessa pulled the sausages, which were so overdone they were drying out, off the fire and stood. Karen? She half expected not to get a reply, but after a second, Karen returned her call. Fel? She's still looking for her then. Has something happened? Fel! 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 Karen! Tessa yelled, projecting her voice as far as she could. What's happening? Fel! Fel! Tessa crossed her arms over her chest and waited. Karen's voice didn't resume, and she didn't reappear through the trees. Minutes ticked by. Tessa's anxiety rose with each passing second. Until she couldn't stand it any longer, she grabbed the spare torch from her bag and moved into the trees. Karen was completely silent now, even when Tessa called to her. Tessa pushed through the thick bushes until she reached the open parking lot. 2 cars sat neatly at the tree's edge, Karen's and her own. A third car, small and pink, sat in the center of the clearings, Fel's. Skid marks ran from behind its wheels. Tessa rounded the vehicle to look into the front seat and inhaled sharply. The windshield had been smashed. The safety glass hung together in fractured clumps, but a hole pierced it. Tessa cautiously stepped closer and angled her torch inside. Something dark stained the driver's seat. Fel? Karen called from the trees behind her, and Tessa jumped away from the car. She swung around, her heart hammering, and pointed her shaking torch towards the trees. She thought she saw a figure about 30 paces away. The pale skin was barely visible in the darkness. She began stumbling towards it. Karen? Karen said something in reply, but Tessa was too far away to hear. She began moving faster, staggering through the bush and tripping over fallen trees to reach the figure. 20 paces away, she pulled up abruptly. The person in the trees wasn't Karen or Fel. It was far too tall and lean to be either of her companions. She opened her mouth but couldn't find any words. Then the figure, without moving a muscle, said, "What is this?" It was the most surreal experience of Tessa's life. The voice was Karen's, but the body wasn't. Tessa took a step back, and the figure said, this time in Fel's voice, "Who are you? What are you doing?" She took another step backwards and bumped into something hard and cold. Tessa turned too quickly and lost her balance. She landed amongst the bracken in the wood's floor. Raising her head, she saw another of the shapes looming over her. It was taller than a human, and its skin was so pale, it almost glowed in the thin patches of moonlight that reached through the trees. When Tessa caught sight of its face, a scream boiled up inside her. It had no eyes or nose. The skin stretched smoothly from its tangled hair until it reached the lips, thin and blue, that framed the mouth. Its teeth were blackened and pointed, sharp enough to tear cleanly through flesh. The figure's lips opened. "What's this?" it said, imitating Karen's voice perfectly, as more of its companions melted out of the shadows to surround Tessa. "What's this?" And that was Those Who Live in the Woods. Okay, eyes are losing tracking a bit. I think that's because that was the very bottom of the book. So I guess the farther down I look, the more likely it is to lose tracking. Maybe I'd be better off having it on my phone rather than a book, because at least a phone is smaller and easier to control. Alright, well, thank you for letting me know about the tracking. I'll have to pay closer attention to this. Ooh, what's this? Yeah, indeed. Yeah, sorry, I made more mistakes than normal. I think that's because I'm a little bit shaky still. Let's see. Oh gosh, $20 offering from Home Mortgage. Loving the new model, and it disappeared. Okay, hang on. Oh, I can look for it here. Okay. Loving the new model. I've been watching you since Lakeview Cabin days. Keep going. Thank you, Home Mortgage. Actually, yeah, that does sound familiar. I think I've read your comments before. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, kind of a wackier stream today. Okay, yeah, so I feel like there's an announcement I really have to announce. We were gonna do something, we were gonna do something for, in fact, let me actually get some nicer, happier music, because this is a little bit of a downer. Let's see. How about this? Better. Okay. All right. My wobbly, is it showing? Yeah, a little bit shaky. The hood is cut. Oh, is it? Is it cutting off? Maybe when I lean forward, it cuts off. Oh, you're right. I see that. I'll have to adjust that. Yeah, I actually have to have an entirely new scene for when I'm reading, because normally the model is very small in the corner. So I don't want to just have to resize the model all the time, so yeah. Okay, yeah, the announcement. I was going to do something silly for National Bee Day, but it was yesterday and I was sick and we kind of missed it. So we could either do it belated or maybe do it on the next anniversary of Bee Day. Maybe that one sounds a bit more realistic. Yeah, well, I'll update the description with the titles of the 2 spooky stories I read along with the title of the book, so that way if you want to read other spooky, scary stories in this horror anthology, you'll be able to do so. Thanks for coming by, guys. Kind of a wonkier stream, but hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow and we can go back to streaming Resident Evil. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do 2 hours of streaming. Okay, alright. Belated B-Day. Maybe. We still have to figure out whose parts would be, whose roles would be whose in the reading of the script. So, we'll see. To be honest, having your eyes closed while you were reading, it feels so comfy to see the model. Really? Yeah, we could just say the gem is reading it. I have a name for him. Let me see. I looked up the name for what I basically based it off of. I used to live in Uzbekistan, and they've got, I have one hanging on my wall. It's kind of like an evil eye thing. See, it's not canon yet. This ain't the lore yet, but I'm leaning towards Nazar, Nazar. Nazar. That's the amulet, the evil eye amulet. So I'm leaning towards Nazar, and yeah. Him? Yeah, I guess so. I kind of always, I usually, a few times in thumbnails, it's usually uncomfortable or angry. I don't know. Did I just gender my gem? I don't know. I think I did. And we'll go with this for now. And I definitely need to normalize the new audio for the spooky, scary stories. Yeah, so lots to do, very busy. Also, there's going to be an abrupt schedule change in about 4 weeks. But the good news is it might just be a schedule change where I will be streaming more, possibly in the morning in addition to at night. So we'll see how that turns out, and yeah. How was Uzbekistan? It was it was an interesting experience. If you're, used to living in places like America, it's very different. It definitely had some amazing culture and amazing architecture, though. I did visit Samarkand, and just gorgeous, really gorgeous buildings and art. Very nice. Evil Eye. Nazar is not for protecting for bad thing. An evil eye, even though they call it evil eye, it's supposed to be protection, I think. So, yeah, it's called evil eye, but it's supposed to be like a warding thing. I don't know. Hope you don't miss those streams. Don't worry, they'll be VODed. Don't feel the need to. I'm still very tentative about it. I just know that there's going to be an abrupt schedule change, and I might as well be streaming, as much as I can to get a wider audience. So, yeah. Better advertising, I assume. More eyes on the content, more people joining in for chatting during the stream. So, okay. I'll try to leave the music going for about a minute after I end the stream. Or, stop talking at least, because I hear that it will cut off at the end, especially on Twitch. So, yeah, if it's in the morning, maybe you'll miss some. Don't worry, I'll try to make it different content, so it won't be like part 1 of a game in the morning, part 2 of a game at night. So that way, even if you weren't there for the morning streams, you'll still be able to pop in and have a look at the afternoon streams. So, good stuff. Whew, alright. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Hoping everybody's doing okay and getting lots of water and food in their lives. And if you're sick right now, hope you feel better too. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.